Hello and welcome to day 3 of the network update challenge. So yesterday we still did not manage to get AWS working, and I was considering some other options as well. But yesterday night I had a little bit of time and ended up just digging through AWS, and I think I figured out the issue. So we'll try that today and see if that solves it for us. I'll show you guys what I did. All right, so let me share my screen. I didn't want to do too much off camera, but yeah, I'll show you everything that I did so that you know exactly how to do the same thing. So all right, I just have to log in, and I'll explain why it wasn't working. All right. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna sign out and sign back in. All right. So the issue I had, so when you create an account with AWS, you get a root user account. And that's the account I was using to try and do this stuff. But Amazon doesn't want you to do it that way because the root user has like access to everything. And if someone manages to get your access details into your root user account, they can create whatever services they want. They can, they can potentially create a lot of damage, not just for you, but they could be running services that are hacking people or phishing people. So they priority is a big concern for them. So when you sign up, you get a root user account, but that's not the account you're supposed to use. You're supposed to go into your root user account and create an IAM user account and use that. And the IAM user account has less access. You select, what kind of access it will have. And if your IAM user gets compromised, then your root user is kind of like your recovery access into your Amazon account, where you can, maybe reset that user or create other users. So I'm going to log into my root user account just to show you guys what I did. And then we're going to log out and go into the IAM user, and we'll be able to continue from there. Yeah, so just let me log in. Stop screen for a second here. All right, so I'm logged in. And so what you want to go is, you want to go to IAM Identity Center. So if you search for IAM, it will probably be one of the things that pop up. IAM Identity Center. So apparently it used to be called AWS Single Sign-On, and now it's different now. It's Identity Center. And I think you used to be able to do like everything from the root account, even though it's less secure and Amazon doesn't want you to do that. And it looks like now you're forced to create an account and do it properly, at least for certain things like what we were trying to do. Or maybe you're still not forced, but I'm not sure how you would get your access details. But yeah, so I came here, and then I went to users, and I created a user. And when you create a user, it will ask you for their email address, their details, and they're going to get an email with a link to reset their password. And so that'll give them an account. And then when they, but that's not enough though, because then when they log in, it's going to work, but it's going to be a different login link actually, but they're going to get to like a page and it'll say no apps. So basically you log in, but you don't have access to anything. So you need to give this user access to stuff for it to be able to do stuff. And so what I did, I created a group and then added that user to the group. And maybe you could do this without the group, but I guess maybe it's convenient with the group because then you can add users or remove users from the group, and everything else will be done automatically. So I created the group, and then I had to create like a permission set. And you can create there's like a lot of granular options for permission sets. So if you go to custom, like for me anyway, it was pretty overwhelming, like all the different options. And I just wanted to have like, a developer account. So I did predefined permission set. And then these predefined ones, power user access, seemed pretty much like what I wanted. Like I didn't want to be too limited in my access. So you can do pretty much everything except manage users and groups. So yeah, so that's what I did. And so I did power user access, and then I went next, and yeah, I went and created that. Okay, let me cancel because I already have it here. So now that you have a permission set and you have a group or a user, you go to AWS accounts, and then you click on your management account, and then you assign the user and group, or you press assign users and groups. And so then you'll be able to select a group. And then once you do, you select the access for that group. Yeah. And then once you do that, when you log in with the other, with the like IAM account that you created, you'll get you'll get an app called AWS account, which you can then use. It looks like there's all sorts of apps you can add here. Like if you go add an application, I'm not really familiar with any of these. So like there's other apps you can give them, but an AWS account is like one of those apps, but it's not added through here. It's added through enabling like a permission set on a user or group inside of AWS accounts here, right? Right, and the AWS account is what I'm interested in, so I'm not adding like any applications this way. Yeah, because AWS account is not listed here. It works differently, right? So, all right, so I'm gonna log out. Yeah, and I couldn't figure this out from the documentation. I just went in and just clicked buttons and just kind of browsed until I figured it out. So that worked better for me. So, maybe if you get stuck on some Amazon stuff, maybe on some AWS stuff, that might work for you if you just kind of poke around and kind of see what the options are. Yeah, or maybe, I guess people learn differently. Different people learn differently. But this is what worked for me. All right. And so in the email where you got the password reset link for your IAM user, there's also a link to sign in. And it's like your own portal for your organization, right? So it's not the console directly. But we'll get to the console through there though. So let me close this and all right, maybe I can find that email so I can show you how it looks. What is it? Do I still have it? All right. Okay. So the email looks like this, right? So when I created the account, I got this email, and then you had accept invitation, and then you create your password, and then your username. When you click on the portal URL, it takes you here. You log in with your username and your password, and then it takes you here. And this is where I said it said no apps. You have no apps, so there's like nothing you can do. Until I added the group. I assigned the group and the permission set. And when I did that, now I have access to an AWS account. Right. So, and then when I click here, I think I get my access details, or maybe it's one step further. Let me. Okay, yeah, it's safe to click. So when I click here, I have this, and then I can click here. And wait, maybe that's where the access details are. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. So, all right, so you click on the AWS account, you can open that up. Power user access, that's what I have. And then this is where you'd access the management console, like where we were before, with the user, or command line or programmatic access. This is what will give us our credentials that we're looking for right now. And yeah, let me just show you management console. So you'll see that it's like pretty much exactly the same. So I go here, we have Lambda. We were here before when we were trying to set up the Lambda. Yeah, so you'll have everything, but notice that you probably won't have like, so it shows up, but I'll go here and I should not be able to create users. Oh, I can still come here. Users, I can still create users. Oh, maybe because maybe did I not sign up earlier? No, I signed up. Anyway, it seemed like I would not be able to do this with my permission set, but apparently it's letting me. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, there we go. So I can't change the permissions. Maybe I can create users, but I can't give them permissions. For that, I have to be in the root account. And I'm just in like a regular IAM account. So yeah, but I can do everything else that I wanted because yeah, I selected power user, depending on what you want. You know, there was those different presets. I think I saw there was one for billing, one for like management, or I don't remember what they were, but there's different ones. But as a developer, this works for me. And if you want to be, I think you can be like really specific. You could say, well, this account can only access AWS Lambda. This account can only access, you know, this service. You can be very granular if you wanted to, but yeah, that's just way more complexity than what I need right now as a single person, but definitely useful for a large corporation or something like that. All right. So now that we have this working, I'm going to click to get my programmatic access and use that in our AWS CLI. And hopefully those credentials will work this time. All right. So I'm just getting those off screen. I pressed, now I see, excuse me. So I see short-term credentials, I see AWS access key ID, AWS secret access key, and AWS session token. And I think these credentials, because they're short-term, they'll only last maybe like a few hours, which is all I need. I just want to upload my image to ECR. Yeah, so okay, so let's use the command line. I see it's been so long now because this was way back on Monday that I don't remember the command. But it was okay, it was in ECR, Elastic Container Registry. And we have our repository. We created this already. And it looks like we tagged it with 061. I guess I changed my mind about yesterday and I was doing 1.0, but since we already did this, let's go ahead with this. And okay, view push commands. Oh wait, no, before I do the push commands, it's not sensitive, is it? No, I don't think so. Maybe. All right, well, if I see any random pushes, then I'll know it's you guys, so. No, it's not sensitive because this is going to fetch the password through the AWS CLI. So, yeah, the password's not actually exposed in the command line, I think. Yeah. All right. So, right, I'm looking for the, I guess, getting started documentation. And now I know what I'm looking for. No. Yes, AWS CLI. And then, where was the command? Not Docker. Yeah, CLI. Installing. It's going to be like AWS -- configure, I think. Maybe my memory's better than I thought. We'll see. Install. Setting up. Okay. And then I guess this. No. Where did we click to get to the setting up new configuration? Credentials. Okay. Yeah, AWS configure. Yeah, and then I just put in the values here. And the region, I have to make sure that I have the right one. I think it might be that. No, I'm on US East 2. All right. And yeah, and then AWS session token. I have that as well. Yeah, so these 3 pieces of ID, of, I guess, credentials, is what I'm going to need, and I have them. So let's go ahead and do that. So AWS configure. All right, let me do this off screen. Hold on. Zoom stuff is getting over the way. Yeah, getting in the way. Yeah. All right, so AWS access key. All right. AWS secret access key. Default region name. That was US East 2. That default output format. I'll just say JSON because that's what it says in the example. And that's it. All right. So um, let's give this a try. We should be able to push the container now. All right. So okay, so this is set up. And so that's all we need. The rest is if you want to do it manually, we did it through the tool. So we don't need to do this, but it's the exact same thing. All right. I'm so glad we finally got this figured out. All right, so I'm back here, container view push commands. All right, and so when I run this, this is gonna, remember when we did like Docker login, and then we were trying to put a password, for some reason we didn't get Docker Hub to work. Well, this will fetch the password from the AWS CLI tool and feed it into the Docker login command. And then the password doesn't get exposed to the console. So, so I can safely paste this. I think anyway. Oh no, we got an error. Security token included in the unknown flag region. Okay. Well, I guess it knows about the region, so maybe we don't need that. All right. Let's try it without the did I maybe look, this is commands for Mac. It's probably slightly different on Windows. Yeah. So that's why. So hopefully this works. No. I had this issue last time as well. It's not recognizing this. We are on Windows though. And we are on PowerShell. But somehow, maybe, is it the way we installed the CLI tool? I don't know. Mm, the rest of the command is the same. I wonder if I just do this without the region. No. Security token. Okay. All right. I thought we had it resolved, but well, we got the access to the access stuff, so that's good. Yeah. Wait, I don't remember. Did we skip a step? I put the access key ID, the secret access key. Did I ever put the session token in? I think so. Yeah. Well, this issue is something different anyway. It's not getting this. I'll just Google this because I'm probably not the first one. Say Google, but I'm not even using Google. Or maybe. Well, omitted installing ECR. Okay. I had to use these two commands. Man, whatever I used to install it was completely different from this. Maybe I used like the map command or something. Somehow worked for the AWS CLI. I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, somehow region worked for him, but maybe they're not on Windows. Okay. Uh, yeah, these are all like people using this command. They're not on Windows. Maybe I need to search. I mean, even though this error is definitely a Windows one, because you don't get like this kind of syntax in regular terminal, like on macOS or Linux. Mm, okay, I did this, and then what's the command that I need? Okay, I did try this, but um, apparently it could go either way. So if I use this, what error did I get? Non-TTY device. What's TTY? Okay, let's look up this error. So this point is further than the other point. So, okay, Windows, AWS, okay. Okay, okay. Use the dash p parameter and wrap the AWS login call to call the dash p parameter. Okay, dash p for password. Okay, so maybe Docker doesn't support the pipe anymore. Okay, it may not be the safest method. We'll come back to this as a last resort, I guess, but what's the right way to do it? Okay. Um, okay, so my command looks like this. ECR, get login password, snip, what's in here? Maybe the region. Um, username AWS, password stdin, and this last bit. Okay, but I did that though. Hmm, what version do I have? And it just makes sense, but since I just installed it, it should not be. Yeah, it is version 2. Okay, let's go back. Dash password. STDI. But we have that, right? Um, and these are helpful so far. This is all the same command. Yeah. I scroll too far down, like obviously they have less uploads, so sometimes there's some useful information. But yeah, this one worked apparently. So even though it may not be the safest method, otherwise password can end up visible. Okay. I mean, we have temporary credentials anyway, maybe. It doesn't matter as much. Mm, login password. Yeah, this is what we have. I'm not sure why it's not working, but apparently the Docker side is not liking this pipe, or maybe we're doing something not quite right. Um, so okay, adding the region for them fixed it. Oh, okay. Well, they have it like this. Um, no include email. Dash dash. Okay. Yeah. Dash dash region did not work on Windows. It seemed like earlier. Let's try with the. Oh, okay. No, that's still not happy. I just printed a whole bunch of stuff. Um, what was it? US East 2. Let's write it directly. US East 2. Maybe if the region is before the ECR part. Okay, well that seems to like before when we had dash dash region, it's telling us, like it's not expected. So looks like that just needed to be earlier on Windows. Like the documentation doesn't show how to do it this way on Windows. But I guess it works somehow. Apparently, not for us. Right, but it's still the same error. Security token within the request is invalid. Maybe I didn't set up the AWS configure correctly, and that's possible. Well, if someone had something, okay, they tried No, okay, without the eval. Mm, yeah, login password. Yeah, that's the same. All right. Uh, well, I mean, yeah, I could copy it, but the point of the CLI is to not expose the password to like Docker. Um, but I guess I might have to do that. Region Docker, yeah. All right. Well, let's give this a try. Uh, hold on. Here, what was it? Just okay. Yeah, I wanted to copy it from here. So this, and then we'll have to update all those details. Let's just paste it here for now and then construct it properly. So region, the region you are in, US East 2. Okay. And then let me maybe copy this. And we can copy the parts. So this is the URL here. I think that's it. That's all we need. Oh, dash dash password. Okay. Docker's not running. Was that the issue this whole time? That might have been the issue this whole time. I could set it to run on startup, but I don't usually use this every day and don't want it to drain resources. Or maybe it wouldn't if there weren't any containers running. Yeah, I'll think about it. Okay. What am I looking for again? Oh, it just needs to be running. Yeah. Let's try the previous command. Because it could be that we were just getting a weird error because it wasn't running. No, same thing. Okay. And our new command, which apparently got us further. Right? No. Okay. That's it? Is it done or still going? Okay. Incorrect username or password. Uh, I thought everything was just gonna work today, but we still have things to figure out. All right. Do I just have the wrong credentials? Maybe. Maybe that's worth taking a look. I'll do AWS configure again, just to make sure. And maybe the original command would work then. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'll try. Bring this off camera. And I'll type in AWS configure access key ID. It's all so it shows me the current one, but it's all start out except for the last 4 digits. So I guess I can know if it's the same one. And it is. So it looks like I didn't, yeah, I didn't make a mistake on that one. Then secret access key, same thing. So paste that in. All right. Default region name US East 2. Right. And default output format JSON. Oh yeah, so I never actually used the AWS session token. Where do I use that? I think, wasn't there a step about that somewhere? Let me clear the console and bring this back. All right, so I think I missed a step. Yeah. Okay. Is it getting started? Or I had to navigate through a bunch of stuff, I think. Using okay. Setting up, and then no, he's not set it up. Okay, CLI. Okay, installing the CLI, and then where's the configuring one? Setting up the CLI. Gather your credential information, setting up you can, okay. And so session token, it never asked me for the session token. Ah, there we go. There was a second command. And this is why it was not working this whole time. If we hadn't missed this, maybe it would have worked from the start. We'll see. All right, so I'll make this back here. I'll paste in that command, and then I'm gonna paste my session token in there. Okay. There. It does not complain. So as they say, no news is good news. And where's that original command? Get rid of it. Oops. I can close these. These are done. And this. All right. View push commands. This one. I guess it's already good. Oh, I might complain about the dash dash region. I moved that before. Oh, login succeeded. Perfect. All right, so let's get rid of all this. Wow. I even thought earlier, I was like, I don't remember adding the third piece of credentials. All right, I went too quickly. Okay, finally we're logged in. Docker, well, not to Docker, but using Docker to AWS and build, yeah, I guess we need to do this because it's not, it doesn't have this tag. I'm just going to leave this tag and change it to 1.0. Right. So now we should have the Docker images. Here we go. Oh, okay. Okay. So I think it's okay. The tag in this case, the 061 is actually part of the name. It's not the actual tag. So this works. I'm okay with this. Yeah, because this could be a version 1.0 of this container, right? All right, so we did that. Now we can copy that, tag your image so you can push the image to this repository. Isn't it tagged already? All right. Oh, okay. So it's so that I can have this bit. I do Docker images now. I have this long one as well. So I guess I made another tag for the same image. It's the same image ID, just a different tag. And so that this command will work. So that the tag matches what's expected when it's received on the AWS side. Yay, and we're finally pushing a container. All right. All right, so I hope you guys learned a lot through my struggles and will not take 3 days to set this up if you do this yourself. Yeah, if you're doing it correctly, it should not take long. It's just figuring out how to do it correctly seems to have been my issue. All right, looks like we're almost done. So we should see it pop up in here once it's uploaded, once it's ready. And once it's here, we'll be able to use it in Lambda. All right. Fortunately, my internet speed is not too slow, and we can actually get this done pretty soon because these are quite big. I think, yeah, there's a lot inside of this Docker file. You could probably shrink down the size a lot, but like a lot of it's probably coming from Rust. I don't know if this one's that big. Maybe the build of, okay, so yeah. What we should do if we want to make it smaller, a lot smaller, is whenever you build a Rust project, you have like a target directory, and this thing is huge. So after we build it, we could delete all this stuff except for the executable, and that would solve the size problem here. But yeah, it's uploaded. Let's go ahead and try and use that. And our next version can maybe implement some of those size optimizations. So we got it here. All right. Image tag latest. All right, now let's go to Lambda. Create a function. We didn't create one yet because we didn't have the image. Container image, browse images. Okay, there it is. All right, what are we calling this? Matchbox? Matchbox server. I think that's all. I don't think we need to change anything. All right. Okay, so not authorized to perform. I am create role and resource. So yeah, I don't have this permission. So I could either give myself this permission or, I mean, because I guess the Lambda is kind of like a user, it needs its own permissions. And so if I don't have the permission to give people permissions, then I won't be able to do this. I guess that's what I assume anyway. I think this part I could do from the root account, but I don't think I'm supposed to. But we can. We could get to this screen. We just couldn't get like the credentials for using in the command line. Yeah. So should we just do it from the? Should we? Okay. Should we try and give this user all the roles it needs to do this? Honestly, like we'll probably need to do this again, right? At some point. Or maybe not. Once it's created, it maybe doesn't need it anymore? You just update it? I don't know. Yeah, I kind of want this role. I want this. I want to be able to do this. So we'll add it to this account. Why? Okay. Do I need to log out? I think I do. Or can I be in 2 accounts at once? Probably not. Sign in. Yeah, I have to log out. All right, let's just maybe take note of this. I am create role. All right. If I ever get stuck on this again, I'm gonna watch my own streams. Because that would probably be faster. Or, I mean, I guess not. It's just be the same amount of time. Except I could skip ahead to the part that I'm missing. Maybe one of these days uh, I'll make like a tutorial video. It's short. Actually, there's probably already some. The challenge is maybe some are outdated and it doesn't work the same way anymore. I guess this is kind of new. I forget what it's called, but replacing the single sign-on thing. All right, so user, let's log into that. Password. Pasting the password in. All right, I'm in. So, I mean, let's just do it from the root account because I can. And I've had enough of AWS. Yeah, next time. We'll set up the access next time. Matchbox server. and hopefully it'll work this time. All right, so we have our Lambda running. Now let's test that it actually works. I'm not even sure what IP. What's is that the IP? I mean, is that the no image? Is it? Okay, that's just showing me where the image is. Right. Test. After all this, it probably won't even work. But we'll see. But yeah, if this doesn't work in Lambda, we have the image. We can deploy it some other way. Like we could have like um, compute resource doing it. What's this? Test event name Matchbox server. Or is this create new event? I don't know. Test event. Invoke your function without saving an event. We probably really did this wrong because it's still expecting a function. What's it going to do when that Docker container is running? Like, it doesn't know anything about what's inside, and I don't know anything about what's expected. So we definitely didn't implement anything special. Test. Yeah, I don't think Lambda is the right thing for what we want, even though it accepts. Yeah, timed out. Probably doesn't know what to do. It's just, yeah. So, all right. So this Lambda is, oh, okay, wait a minute. Yeah. I don't see how I can do what I want to do here. I just want to run the server. What I wanted is to run the server, to start the server when someone connects to it, but just have the server be offline when no one's using it, because I don't think people are going to use it most of the time, just occasionally. Okay, people have to sleep, and there's only so many countries that speak English and watch these streams. So, but yeah, it looks like I can connect things together. Maybe it's a bit more complex. What I wanted to do is not going to work out of the box, but what I would probably have to do is have like the trigger would be like someone connects, and then what you do is you spin up a compute resource running that Docker image until the player disconnects, and then you spin that down, right? And maybe, yeah, this is going to be a complex thing to set up. So let's not, and let's just run a compute resource with this running all the time, maybe. Let's see. Well, if anything goes wrong, I do want it to restart on its own. Um, it should do that, right? Well, unless it doesn't know. Yeah, it might not know something went wrong. I guess EC2, or is there something for containers? Container, Elastic Container Service. So maybe. All right. So this might be better. I wonder if I should just delete this lambda. Yeah, I'll delete it. I'll probably forget it exists and something might happen with it later on. Maybe people will start using it, or even though it doesn't work. Okay, but everything we've done has not gone to waste because we do have the image and we can do whatever we want with that image. Container, oh yeah, ECS. All right. So, but yeah, lambda's like, okay, it would be worth looking into later on, but I think for this, okay, for now, let's just get this running. None of this is sensitive, right? Okay. Cluster name, I guess Matchbox server. What happens if it wants to provision like more containers? I guess it would be, well, first of all, there'd have to be quite a few people connecting, and they would end up connecting to different matching servers. So not everyone would be able to play with everyone. Well, the way we set up now, it doesn't even matter. It's just matching you with random players as well, whatever first player comes in. So yeah. So I'm not going to change anything. I'll just leave everything as is. Okay. This one probably won't be free. Maybe this does do what I want it to. AWS Fargate. Maybe that's what I had to use instead of Lambda. All right, which is great. And I mean, it's just one server, not going to be a lot of usage on it. I don't know what happened. Service unavailable. I think this is their fault. It's not me that did something wrong this time, right? Yep. Yep. This time it's their fault. I just try again. Is now later too soon? Just go ahead. Matchbox server. Do everything as is. Create. Okay. Maybe that's fine. Yeah. So I don't know how much it's going to cost. It's not like you pay a fixed amount per month, but it's based on usage. And there's usually like a free tier for a lot of like AWS stuff. So it may not cost anything at all. I guess it just depends. But yeah, it should not cost much. But if it does, there's definitely ways to optimize costs. So like that's one of the things you can do with AWS. And probably the bigger ones like Google and Microsoft as well. But you can really dial in the settings. Yeah, it worked. I should say configuration. But that's also not something I care about at a small scale like this. It's really maybe not the right tool for me. But I'm glad we got it working. So we have this cluster, and now with no services. All right. Is it going to let me use a container? Of course it will. But when is it going to ask me for it? I'm going to use, like, I don't know what a service is, so I'm just going to go ahead and create one. Default options. I'm not going to change anything. Yeah, it is a service. Long run, okay. At least until the player disconnects. So yeah, that would be long running. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to say with this task destination plan, I don't have one. Um, I don't have one. Family, service name, matchbox, server. That's this. So I need a task definition. Yes, AWS was definitely the wrong choice for this. It's just configuration after configuration after configuration. Uh, uh, container. Okay, all right. So this is where I specify the container looks like. I'm just gonna call everything Matchbox server. This might make things simpler. It might also be a bad idea later on. We'll see. Container details. All right. Image URI. But I want ECR. I guess I have to get the URI. Essential container. Name. Well, Matchbox server. And then, oh yes, okay. So I'll actually, this is where I map the ports. Do I have the one on the inside is running on a specific hard-coded port that's gonna have to match, right? The outside could be whatever port I want, but it has to port to the right thing inside. Yeah, so the mapping definitely needs to be correct. Container ports, where does that map to? The container to access ports on the host. No, well, we don't want the container to access. Okay, maybe this is not the setting I thought it was. Or to send or receive traffic. Okay, well, yeah, we want it to receive traffic. Maybe we leave 80 because that's kind of like the default port that's like used for like web browsing and like so many different things. And maybe we'll want to use this, but let's also add the port that we have that's kind of like hard coded in there. 3536. Go. Yeah. And I almost forgot this. Image URI. Paste. All right. And we have more things to configure. All right. App environment. Oh yeah, I can leave this. Everything default. When in doubt, just use the default. Next. I still like to kind of read. Oh, right, there you go. Port, post port, container port. Then I have to update this. Or does the dash mean same? I don't think I had the option to say both. It just said like one number in there. Yeah, if it doesn't work, then we'll update the mappings, I guess. I can only assume the dash means same port both sides. Create. And I guess that's it. Oh, wait, no. We just created the task definition. Now we can select it, right? Oh, and I have to refresh this page. Yeah. Yeah, I have to start over. All right. Go service name, Matchbox server. Create. Okay, we have a service with a task definition as a container. So wait, do we? No service to this. Okay, it's still deploying. Cloud formation. Let's go see what that is. All right, I guess we get some information in here. Cool. Let's just wait for this. Task definition. Let's close this. So we have our container registry, which I think we're done with, actually. Amazon ECS. Takes a few minutes. Yeah, I could. Okay. It could take them a few minutes. Yeah, I'm out of time, so I have to end the stream. But I just kind of want to see this working. I don't know how long it's going to take, or if it's even going to work. I might have to, update the port mapping. That dash isn't, I think. The default one that was already there was just dash, so I assume that would work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long this usually takes. Our container's pretty big. I don't know if that might be affecting how long it takes to start. Maybe it has to build the container. But once it's built, it's fast. But I mean, there's also the whole other thing where, it actually has to provision a machine that will run it and maybe configure a bunch of stuff. So most likely that's what's longer. I have to end the stream, but I don't want to. I want to know. I can't leave you guys on a cliffhanger, right? Maybe I have to. So, yeah, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. This is pretty much for sure going to work. The deployment, I mean, but then once it's deployed and we try connecting to it, that's where I want to find out if that's working. And we'll do that with the game. We'll connect directly to whatever URL this is going to be on, or IP address. Yeah, IP, whatever it gives us to connect to it. And yeah, there might even be like more to configure, like firewall stuff. I don't know. If you're just doing something small, don't use AWS. That's the lesson learned here. You could literally just deploy things really easily elsewhere with not much configuration options, but those will drain a lot of time out of you. All right, so it's deployed. So let's just try it. How do I know where to connect to it? Running. Networking maybe. We have to do like a firewall because it's by default not going to be accessible from the outside. And so, auto assigned. Okay, so it does have a public IP. It doesn't mean it's accessible, but where can I find that? Network. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this tomorrow. I thought I would at least have like a URL. Oh yeah, we're doing all this from root. Well, that's fine. Oh man, where's my URL? There's info. All right, yeah, we'll track it down tomorrow, and then we'll be able to test it. Oh, no, never mind. This is the log from the container. Yeah. Well, I guess that's all for today. And tomorrow we get to find out what else we need to configure, most likely, to get this working. Why am I not just using something else now? But by this point, it's like sunk cost fallacy. So like I've put so much time into this AWS working and it's still not, but it feels like there's progress and I'm getting close. So I don't want to like start over, even though I might end up being quicker. But yeah. So we still, I mean, technically it's running, but I don't know how to connect to it yet. But yeah, so let's work on this tomorrow. And if you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you'd like to see. And that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow for day 4. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.